It's Sean Shores 96 here with another video review. This time we have from SH Figuarts from Captain America's Civil War Ant-Man figure. So this is the only Civil War figure I'm getting from Figuarts at the moment. I don't have any plans to get any more. I would definitely consider Scarlet Witch and Falcon, however, they haven't done those yet, but I did definitely want to get Ant-Man. I'm a big fan of his new costume. I see a lot of people that don't like his new costume more than the older one. However, I really do like this new one, so I definitely wanted a bit of a representation in toy form of him, and the Figuarts one seemed perfect to get, so very happy to have it. So let's go over the actual figure. First of all, before I start on that actual the main course here, let's talk about the little accessory that he comes with. It's a very small little Ant-Man. Most, Ant-Man figures nowadays come with this, like a really, small mini Ant-Man figure. He does look quite nice. There's not a whole lot of detail on him. However, the detail that is there is nice. He's extremely small. Like, when I saw pictures of this, I thought it would be small, but I thought it would be slightly bigger than it actually is in person. In person, it's just super tiny. He's standing straight up and down. His head is just silver. You do have some red detail on his body as well, so some silver detail, which is done nicely. But the head is just silver. There's no black or no red for the eyes or anything like that. And he is permanently attached to that little base there. So overall, a nice little extra. Nothing special, though. I like to get those small Ant-Mans purely so that I can do like a lineup of all my Ant-Man figures from smallest to largest, kind of like he's growing. However, just in practice, having them is really nothing special, except when you're going to take a picture like that. So yeah, the box is pretty nice. It's a very small, thin box. You do have Captain America and Iron Man on the front there. On the back and on the side, you have some images of the actual figure. Alright, let's go on to the actual figure. Overall looking quite nice. I like this head sculpt a lot. Not only do I just like the design of the helmet in the movie, however, I think that the figure captured the design quite nicely. In all the red sections on his body, he does have a really nice textured look. And on the black sections, or the really dark gray sections, there really isn't any texturing. It mainly just extends to the red, which I kind of like because it really does show the difference of the different fabrics, basically, that it's trying to convey, so I do like that. The silver on him is quite bright and shiny, which I like. It almost has a gold tint, especially when you have it under some big lights. It's kind of strange, like looking at this guy in person, just right now, I'm just noticing it right now, but the black on him kind of has a brownish look, and then the silver on him kind of has like this goldish silver look. Very strange, I haven't noticed it before. Maybe it's just because I had the lights like directly on him right now, but just in person, when you just have regular lights, it doesn't come across that way. But overall, I do like the sculpting on the body quite a lot. I mean, it is quite nice. The main focus of this figure, though, is the articulation. That's why I bought it, of course, because of the articulation. And let's get talking about it. Let's jump right in. So overall, articulation is quite good. He does look up quite a decent amount forward. It does look like he has a ball joint at the top of the neck and at the lower part of the neck, although the most range comes from the top of the neck. So he does look up a decent amount, and he looks down completely, basically. And obviously, side to side, you can tilt his head and the whole bit. So the head articulation is quite nice. He does have shoulder pads that are on a hinge, which works really nicely. And then his arms, there's a ball joint, as you can see, that's actually in his body, attached to a peg that's attached to a hinge on the shoulder. So you can kind of get that little ankle or shoulder kind of pivot there where it goes up and down a bit. And then, of course, he has full range on the shoulder. He can go out extremely far, as you can see. He's got a swivel at the bicep, double hinge elbows, which work quite nicely, as you can see. Pretty perfect hinge there. Then you have ball joints at the wrist that are attached to a hinge that can also be swiveled as well. So it's quite nice. It's actually slightly better than than like an average Hot Toys figure, because the Hot Toys figure has a similar joint. However, it just has a peg that goes into this hand. However, this one has the same joint, but it has a ball joint that goes into the hand. Then the torso articulation, he's got a ball joint at the upper torso, as you can see, can be tilted side to side quite nicely, as well as it can go back and forward, quite a bit forward, and a bit back. But then on top of that, he has a ball joint at the waist too, which is great. So it just adds that extra bit. When you utilize both of them, you can get some really nice range at the torso. I do love torso articulation. It's one of the places that's lacking on a lot of figures, but when the figures do get it right and have some good range there, it is quite nice. One thing I will say is that his belt, like this part seems to be like glued over here, and it has come undone on mine. I did just kind of push it back and it seems to be staying. However, possibly when you pose it, yeah, you see it does kind of like push out a bit when you do twist him where his body is hitting that belt. However, when you put it back, it does seem to go back in place. So that is something to note, but it's nothing too big. He has ball jointed hips, which can go out quite far. They can also go out to the side. Let me get it back down. Oh, there we go. You can get it to go out quite a bit far like that, and it can also go back extremely far as well. He's got a swivel at the bicep, or at the thigh. The swivel at the thigh is a bit tight, though, I must say, so you do get a decent range with it, but it won't go like all the way around, or at least it won't go all the way around very comfortably. He's got a double hinge at the knee. The knee joints, when they came out of package, were quite tight. However, I have found that over the time posing him, the knee joints have started to loosen. It's nothing serious, but it is definitely something to note. He's got a ball hinge ankles, which work quite nice with a great ankle pivot. He does have these little pieces that do come down over his leg. However, they don't hinder him too much. They do stop him a bit, but not much. As you can see, you get a nice pivot there. And then he has a bit of toe articulation. So overall, articulation on this guy is pretty superb. You know, basically what you'd expect for Figuarts. It's pretty great. You know, definitely has a nice. Not only does it have a nice amount of joints, however, the joints themselves have good range. If anything, I would have preferred maybe slightly better in the head. Obviously, the head articulation was really good. However, you know, I would have liked great head articulation, basically. But it is something that is quite nice, and it's definitely not an issue. He does come with an extra set of open hands. I'll put one of them on so you can see. He doesn't come with much, as you can see, so I would have liked a bit more variety of hands. I don't think that he comes with definitely the most important ones. Having like an open hand I think is important, and obviously fists are pretty necessary. But maybe I would have liked a hand that's holding a one of those shrinking what do you call those, kind of throwing star or shrinking or growing things that he has. I would have liked that, like one that has them sculpted in his hand, especially since not only did he use that in his regular movie, but he did use it in Civil War as well. So I would have liked to see him come with that, and just relaxed palms. I certainly wouldn't use the relaxed palms. I think that these hands are more interesting. However, still, just so that you know you felt like you getting a bit more relaxed palms would have been quite nice. Overall, though, this is a really nice figure. I do like it a lot. Great articulation and a good sculpt in general. He's a pretty decent height too. If you're wondering, if you're not like a big Figuarts collector, but you do collect Marvel Legends, if you're wondering if this will fit in with your Marvel Legends, let me show you here. Alright, there he is standing straight up, and here's the Marvel Legends Ant-Man. As you can see, they're pretty good. You know, obviously the Figuarts one is slightly shorter, but not that much shorter. I've posed him, considering I don't have any other Marvel Figuarts figures. I have some DC and Star Wars ones, but not Marvel. So when I was posing him, I posed him with my Marvel Legends figures, and he fit in great. He really did. He's in a good scale, and especially since, you know, because he's Ant-Man, he's not quite Iron Man or something. I do think that him being slightly shorter is fine. You know, if it was a different character, though, it might not come across so perfectly, but because it is Ant-Man, it did work quite nicely. So overall, I really do like this Ant-Man figure. I'm a big fan of the actual suit design from the movie, so to get a figure representation of that is quite nice as well. And then, of course, he has great articulation. So there you go. That's my review of the SH Figuarts Captain America Civil War Ant-Man figure. Thanks so much for watching.